Welcome back to the BKB Lounge, AE Hoops Lounge here in the America East Studios. Men's basketball playoffs, Sean Tainch, start this week, Saturday. What's so special about those 3 days in March?
It's so exciting, Sam. It's a fresh start for everyone. Everyone's 0-0, and I think this year, every year is exciting, but this year, really looking forward to it based on the regular season. So much parity in the league, so many good teams on any given night. Any team could beat anyone. I think that's going to continue as we start up on Saturday.
Yeah, we've seen that during the regular season too, so should be exciting. We'll start from the top. Number 1, Vermont, regular season champs for the 4th straight year. They take on Maine in the quarters for the 5th straight year. Familiar matchup between these two. Vermont 7-3 in the all-time postseason series.
Yeah, I think this is a little different than your typical 1-8 matchup. Obviously, Vermont, regular season champion 4 straight years, first team to do that. Anthony Lamb, player of the year for the 2nd straight year, and Steph Smith and Ryan Davis, and cast of characters and what they bring on the defensive end. But I don't think they can overlook Maine. Maybe unlike some past years, Maine's playing well. They won their last 2 games, won 2 tough games. UMBC at home on Saturday, and then at Hartford on Tuesday. So they're feeling good right now. They have 2 all-conference players in Andrew Fleming and Sergio Darwood, seniors. Only lost to Vermont by a basket up in Orono earlier this year. So I think it'll be an intriguing matchup.
Next one, Stony Brook, number 2, Albany, number 7. Interesting that these two meet in the quarterfinals because when you talk about the championship pedigrees between these two, they faced in the championship game before 2 times, actually won the Hooley shot, of course, but 4-4 against each other all time in postseason matchups.
Yeah, these 2 teams always play tough, rock fight type games where every basket's gonna be hard fought and earned. They're both gonna dig in defensively. We saw that in the regular season matchups. Just last week, Stony Brook winning a low scoring game on Miles Latimer's shot. So I think you're gonna get more of that on Saturday. Get 2 really good coaches. Will Brown's obviously been there so many times, won 5 championships. But you have really good players too. You got Elijah Olani fighting back from injury. Played his first game in about 3 weeks on Tuesday, and hopefully get round into a little more form. First team all conference player. Andrew Garcia, 2nd team for Stony Brook has really carried the scoring while Elijah's been out. And then for Albany's also had their injury issues too. Cam Healy hasn't been quite the same player dealing with the hip injury, but Amar Clark has been their best player, 2nd team all conference. So I think whoever can hit more shots in that game is going to win, because then both defenses are going to come to play.
Another interesting wrinkle in that one too. Stony Brook was the 2 seed last year, and we saw what happened on their home floor, losing to a 7 seed for just the 2nd time in Hercules Tire's AE playoffs history. Next matchup, Hartford getting the 3 seed. They were picked 6th in the preseason poll. They end up with another home game facing UMass Lowell again at home for the 2nd straight year. They won 78-70 in Hartford last year.
Yeah, these 2 teams split in the regular season. You get some of the biggest firepower in the league from an offensive standpoint in Malik Ellison from Hartford, first team all conference player, towards the tops in both scoring and rebounding in conference leaders. And over on UMass Lowell's side, 2 of the top scorers in Obi Noel and Christian Lutete, both all conference players, both can light it up. I think you're going to see a hard fought game, and both teams are going to try and score often in this one. And I think it's going to be an even one that either team could win.
Last one, UMBC, number 4, New Hampshire, number 5. Both these teams had a chance to host, and it ended up being the Retrievers getting that hosting bid. They'll face off on Saturday, and UMBC and UNH, 2 of the hottest teams heading into the playoffs this year. We've got UMBC winning 6 of the last 8, New Hampshire 4 of the last 5.
Both teams split in the regular season. I expect an even type matchup in this one. I think it's going to be exciting. You got really good players on both sides. UNH, their turnaround from last year where they didn't make the championship, the playoffs, and then this year to earn the 5 seed, finish 8-8, and then UMBC's turnaround within the season. Struggled in non-conference play, started 0-4 and rebounded to finish 8-8 and earn the number 4 seed. KJ Jackson is what has made them go. 2nd team all conference for the 2nd straight year, all defensive selection. And then UNH was a young team that played hard last year, and some of that youth has really started to blossom this year. And Sean Sutherland and Nick Guadarrama kind of lead that cast as 3rd team selection. So I think all the games are going to be good. I think that one especially might be the best.
We'll see what happens. 1 o'clock Saturday, that's the first one. We have 4 games on tap for you on Saturday, Sean, to kick off the postseason in the quarterfinals. Where can you watch them?
ESPN Plus, you're going to be home for your quarterfinals and semifinals. If you live internationally, we'll have streams for you on AmericaEast.tv as well.
And eventually the championship game on ESPN2 in a week. We'll have a couple more previews for you next week. But you can also follow along with all the action on Twitter at AE Hoops News and, of course, at America East, and also on Instagram at America East. Hercules Tires America East men's basketball playoffs starts right now.